WeWork co-founder Adam Neumann stepping down from his role as CEO, and this is now less than a week after the company was slated to go public. Joining us right now is Axios Business Editor Dan Primack and Wall Street Journal reporter Maureen Farrell. Good morning to both of you. Dan, you might remember we were on the show together, and at the end of one of the segments that we had, I said to you, do you think there's a chance the IPO doesn't happen? And here we are. So my question to you now is, do you think this IPO will ever happen?
Well, let's start with you were right. And when I walked out of the studio after you said that, I thought, it's really the first time I'd ever seriously considered it. So I didn't have a great answer at the time. Honestly, right now, I think there's no way to know. We don't know what the new CEOs plan to do. We don't know what kind of cost cutting they're going to do. They had an all-hands meeting yesterday, and there were a lot of questions from employees, specifically around financing, right? Because this is a company that wasn't just going public to make everybody rich. It was going public because they needed the cash, both from the IPO and from a debt issuance, which was going to kind of go simultaneously, which is now gone if they don't go public this year. So I think there are a lot of questions about the viability cash-wise. An IPO would still be a way to make money.
Right. Maureen, what do you think about the timing of a potential IPO? And maybe let me make it a two-part question. Do you think that these two new CEOs are going to be the ones to take it public? Because I keep hearing that there's at least an ambition among many of the big investors that they bring in an outside CEO. So first, I think right now it does feel like the intention is that they're here, they're at the helm, there's no outside search. So they're tasked with taking this company to the next level. The IPO, the chances of it happening this year are pretty de minimis. But as Dan said, and we all know, they need cash, and that seems to be their intention. But first, they need to right the business. And we're hearing a lot about cost cuts. We're hearing a lot, we'll see if the private jet, really different things about the business. I think we're going to be learning a lot very quickly about what they want to do. So at least for now, I think the plan is for them to kind of take this company forward. Maureen, your paper, Heard on the Street column, says too little, too late. Is it? Things have gotten very dark for the company, clearly. Earlier this year, it was a $47 billion company. Over the last few weeks, it's been very unclear whether they could have done an IPO at all. Right. Obviously, the CEO is gone. The valuations that investors were willing to give this company when he was out talking to public investors kept on eroding, and it got smaller and smaller. So now it's almost like they have to start not from scratch, but they need to figure out a lot of things and kind of start anew, really. Hey, Dan or Maureen, can weigh in on this. We were actually debating it earlier, and we just don't know the numbers. Maybe you do. Do you know what the value of Adam's stake is worth today? And the reason I'm asking the question is J.P. Morgan, which I've argued has been on both sides of this the whole time in not such a very good way, had a credit line out to them, I think, with UBS and Credit Suisse of at least $500 million, and there was an additional close to $100 million. He's been buying up real estate and other things. Does the value of his shares, because they were collateralized against the shares, all these loans, are they worth more than that still? From what I can tell, it's a little unclear. Because, well, for starters, we don't know what the value of the stock is, right? What's WeWork worth today? I don't know. Pick a number. But what we do seem to know from the S1, $15 billion. Well, it seems that he's got basically about the same number of shares as SoftBank. If I'm reading the S1 right, Maureen, you can check on that, double check me on that. But it looks like he and SoftBank are about even in this in terms of equity. Well, he has entities that he controls is about 30%. We don't know exactly how that breaks down. But again, as you said, what is the mark right now? Right. We were hearing 15 billion as a number. And right now we're not going to get a mark really for a while unless, we're hearing that they're looking at refinancing their credit line. They may bring in some new equity. So maybe we will see an actual mark sometime this year if some new equity is brought in. But it is unclear, and kind of who knows how that shakes out. It's clearly a much riskier loan than it was when they made it.